Good evening.
Right. Okay, you're here. Okay, so, well, I've been trying to search for your name and apologies for that one. Hi, Murphy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good
Hello,
evening.
everyone.
Hello. Okay, so if you're just joining us, this is the day one of Tech for Newbies, and right now we are going to be going into product design. And if you're just joining us, let us know you in the in the chat section, your name and where you're joining us from. I'm Hanifa, and I'm the programs coordinator at Ingressive for Good, and we're starting with product design, and we have the amazing Murphy here, with a lot of experience. I would have gone through them, but it's a lot actually, and I would rather, kind of leave that to when you talk about your personal experience towards the end of the session. So let's get this started. Thank you so much for joining us once again.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I like greeting a lot, bad habit. My name is Murphy. Most of you may know me as Greet. Yeah, so I'm supposed to give you guys a roadmap on how to get started as a newbie in the product design field. Yeah, and the thing is, I've actually done this before in the past, right? So I'm coming. Right, so I actually have a roadmap I shared on Twitter earlier this year. So let me just sort of, right, roadmap, or let's just say newbies. Roadmap for product designers. Be a good header. All right, so it's a roadmap I've done in the past, but I'll probably just quickly walk you guys through it, my personal experience, right? So I think I'll probably go through some of the pointers I was given first, then before I share this roadmap, right? It's a little bit much, but I just keep on updating it as I gain new knowledge. Right, so product design, how and what to learn. Right, so I think product design, sorry about the background noise, right? They're actually working here. Right, so I'll continue. Yeah. Right, so how and where to learn. So I started designing, right? I basically learned off YouTube, right? Am I supposed to show my face? I'm supposed to show my face. Hey, me and this my ugly face.
Yeah, it would be nice to see your face.
Okay, I'll probably show my face during the meeting, right? But there's somebody actually walking behind me right now. So when it's done, right, I'll turn on my camera.
No worries. Thank you.
Sorry, you can go ahead. So is everyone who can hear the background noise?
No, it's clear. I can hear you fine.
All right. So how am I to learn? I'm sorry. Finish. Okay, yeah. So yeah, how I'm to learn, right? So basically, when I started my design journey, right? I think right now there are a lot of mediums for you to learn as a designer, right? So you have a lot of academies, a lot of startups, right, focusing on training product designers or teaching product designers or teaching newbies how to become better product designer, right? So I think when I started, right, I wasn't very sure if there are a lot of academies like this. I think right now we have Pixel, we have Overlay, which other people come to mind. Those are like the two people at top of my mind, right? So there are a lot of academies for you to learn right now. But right from the school days, right, I've always been a very fast learner. So even when professors are teaching or my lecturers are teaching, right, I think the way they speak is too slow, so I get bored in class, right? They speak too slow, and before they're even done giving the knowledge, I've grabbed the whole thing, right? Which is why I'm very lazy when it comes to watching YouTube videos, right? I rather just read what you are saying instead of watching a video, right? So I've always had this habit of teaching myself, just getting resources online and teaching myself. So my first encounter with design was when I saw a friend posted a design on his WhatsApp status, right? I didn't even bother asking what he was using. I think he wrote Figma along the way. So all I did was I just jumped into Google. I typed Figma. It just showed me Figma, well, Figma.com. I downloaded the app and I went to YouTube. I entered Figma. I entered how to use Figma. Then there are a lot of videos scattered all over the place, right? I think right now their library of videos is actually more organized, right? I was just watching everything I was seeing at the time, right? So I think the first video I watched was how to use mask, then prototyping, then how to use shapes. I was just watching them, but they were not even making sense to me, right? So when I was done watching all the videos, right, started making, oh, wow, I was supposed to learn prototype close to the end, not at the beginning. Masking, what do I use masking for? Oh, shapes was probably the first thing I was supposed to learn, right? So I was just learning randomly like that. Uh, then I think around June, right, I got a call from one of my boys and he needs me to help him design a website, right? Because I'm always posting what I do on my WhatsApp status, right? So I was still very sure what to do. I entered YouTube again and I searched for what's the market rate for UI UX designer, right? I was trying to know how to code price. Then I also searched for how to design a website, right? That was when I even started saying we are supposed to even do things called responsive websites. I was just designing for desktop, right? So my learning was very hard. It was just all over the place, right? And I think that has actually helped me is just learning whatever I do as I go. Some knowledge I may never ever use throughout my career, right? Some I just keep and it sort of complements whatever I'm learning later, right? So in terms of what to learn, um, I would want to say it depends on you, right? If you like instant gratification like myself, right? I like seeing what I'm doing, which is why I don't like to code. I have to write a lot of lines of code before I won't see exactly what I'm doing. So if you like instant gratification, you may want to learn just UI design first, right? Then after UI, you can learn UX, right? Well, I think the ideal path for you to follow, right, would be for you to learn UX, then learn UI, right? But if anything about this product design, UI UX design, you can choose to just be a UI designer, and that's all you'll be doing for your career, just UI design, right? I work at a company, a gaming company where I'm just a UI designer, right? There are people doing UX and all that, but I am just a UI designer there, but I can do both. Right, so you can choose to just follow the UI part, right? All you'll be doing throughout your career will be designing UI, or you can choose to just stick to the UX design part, and all you'll be doing throughout your career will be designing good experiences. Like that, or you can choose to do both, and they'll give you the tag product designer, right? So ideally, product design is encompassing both UI, UX interaction, and all those other designs that you continue doing throughout your career, right? Or you can choose to just be a specialist and do one part of the design, either UX or you do just UI, right? Or you do just interaction design. All you'll be designing will be interactions, right? So in terms of duration it takes to learn, I think it depends on the individual, right? It depends on you, your drive, right? Your discipline and how consistent you want to be, right? When I was in school, I was in my final year when I started designing. I literally did not have so much financial problem, right? I did not have so much financial problem. My parents were still giving me allowance, not as much as I wanted anyway, right? But they were still giving me allowance and I was still a student, right? So I think in final year, I got tired of school, right? I think in first semester, towards the end of first semester, I called my mom and I told her that I no longer want to go to school. Right? I don't know if I even told, I think my elder sister, I told her, she was like, hey, village people finally want to know, right? Because I just got tired. I was studying petroleum engineering. I wasn't a dull student. I graduated with 2-1, but I just got tired because I did my internship in Chevron. And when I was in Chevron, I did not see, well, I was in the business unit anyway, right? I did not see one petroleum engineer, right? And that's when it dawned on me that when you actually leave school, right, I probably, unless you're reading medicine or law, right, I think those are like the two professions you actually use your degree, right? In the real world, most people don't even care about your degree, right? Most businesses don't care about your degree. They care about the value you are bringing to the company. But if you are bringing to your degree, that's fine, right? But the thing with our degree right now, for most of the engineering courses, our curriculums are very outdated. Right? So whatever value you probably be bringing with what you learned in school would probably be useful in 1990 or 1980, right? But it will not be useful in our current society, right? So it dawned on me that, well, this petroleum engineering will not give me the kind of money I want, right? And I needed more. And the only way to get more money is to add more value, right? The more value you add to society, the more money they will pay you. It's the way it is, right? So I started learning design. I design, at least when I started learning, I was designing 6 to 8 hours every day, right? Towards December 2019, I was designing 10 to 15 hours every day, right? I think my highest sprint was designing from 9 a.m. till 9 a.m. December, I think 31st or 30th, I've forgotten the last day of December, right? Crossover to New Year. I started designing 9 a.m. till 4, 5 a.m. the next day. Right, that was like my highest sprint. I just started on one point, playing music. There was light throughout, right? Playing music, they brought food to me. I was just deciding, right? So what I do towards the end of the year is I have things I want to learn, right? I create a mock resume of how my resume should look like for the next year, right? And I put those skills in my resume, which means those are the things I'll be learning throughout the next year, right? So that was my longest design sprint. So how long it takes to learn, it depends on you, right? If you are currently working, it might be difficult because if you're no longer in school, you no longer receive allowance, or you no longer get money from anywhere, right? Probably a student. I think you have more time to learn design right now, right? Forgetting your whole school stress, you have more time to learn design right now. But when you've graduated, now you have to make money. If your parents are not rich, well, you have to, even if your parents are rich or you're a hard worker, you have to make money, right? And if you're probably going to work 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day, if you're in Lagos, you go to work from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, right? But if you're in a normal country, probably like a normal state, rather, probably like Abuja, you go to work from 8 a.m. to probably 5 p.m. every day. And when you come back, you're tired. There's literally no time for you to learn because you are working to survive, right? But a hack I gave to somebody, I say, what's your peak hour, right? My peak hours are usually from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning. That's when I work best, right? What's your peak hours? And I told him, since you have to go to, and the thing with your daily life, right? The thing with your daily life is during the day is very unpredictable. Anything can happen. You can plan your whole day, right? Probably make 10 plans and you end up just doing one thing. Something must come up, right? That's why I work at night, because nothing can come up at night, or rather, something really comes up at night. Nobody will come here around 2 a.m. except it's an emergency, and emergencies don't happen all the time. So as what's your peak hour, right? If you probably sleep early, you probably get back from 8 p.m., for example, and able to sleep by 11 a.m. and wake up by 4 a.m., right? If I were you, what I would do is I would probably design from 4 a.m. to probably 6 a.m., 2 hours, then get ready for work and get to the office. Then during breaks, during office hours, I'll start designing, right? The thing is, if you want it bad, you want it enough, right? You find a way, right? And I think that has been the only way that has worked for him, because coming back from work is always very tiring. You want to make dinner, you want to sleep, or probably just watch Netflix and chill, right? So you just have to make 2 hours every day. You just have to do it continuously, right? Continuously, consistently, and that's how you get the hang of it, right? But if you're in school, this is like the best time for you to learn. When you've left school and you are working and you have to survive, take care of yourself, right? It's going to be very difficult. All right. So in terms of how long it took me to learn design, I would not say it took me so and so time, because I'm still learning, right? I try as much as possible to learn every day, right? But for you to get the hang of the basics, probably 3 months should be fine, right? If you're a very fast learner, like I said, depends on you, right? Most people use 1 year to learn design, and it's fine, right? You go at your own pace until you are done learning. I think it took me a while, right, to grab the interaction part of design, right? But I was taking my time, right? And which is why this roadmap session is very important. If you don't have a path for learning, right, you are going to get very distracted along your learning journey, right? Because without a path, when you come on Twitter, right, I keep saying this, I'm part of people doing it anyway, but when you come on Twitter, there are too many specialists in the field, right? Too many people dropping knowledges they have, and you tend to get distracted. You'll be learning product design today, an illustrator will come and say, I just made $40K from illustrating this year. You get distracted, right? Because when you're in it for the money, right, you easily get distracted, right? Another person will come and say, I do motion design, right? And this is what I learned, right? And we tend to get caught in the shiny object syndrome, right? But if you have a part and you stick to that part, so a lot of the things I learned, at some point I was doing Flutter, I was building out my own UI, right? At one point I was an illustrator, I was doing motion with After Effects. I did a lot of things that I probably don't use today. Most of them, I don't use them today, right? So without a part, you tend to get distracted. But if you have a part and you follow it through, right? Those times you spend learning how to write code, start asking, should I learn how to write code to be a good pro designer, right? You'll be better served spending spending that time working on improving your existing skill, right? So what do you do after learning? What do I do after learning? This is my favorite part of learning, right? So what I do is, if I learn prototyping today, or I learn how to use shapes, for example, right? What I'll do is I would go to Dribble, Behance, or ArtStation, right? I'll look for designs that are using shape, and I would try to replicate all those designs using the knowledge I just got, right? So that way, I'm repeating it, right? And when I repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, it sticks to my head, right? So when I don't get it the first time, I'm not even bothered, right? I don't get it the 10th time, I'm not bothered. Right? Even if I don't get it the 10th time, I'm not bothered, right? I just keep repeating and repeating and repeating until it sticks to my head. That's basically how I've learned everything I know today, right? So what I just keep, how am I supposed to do here? Okay, so what I just keep doing is I learn one thing, I repeat and repeat and repeat till I get used to it, right? And I think there's a book I read, that was early last year, How to Learn. I don't think How to Learn was the name, but the book was basically teaching me how to learn, right? And I took this concept we had from nursery school, where we're basically repeating 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 4, till it's stuck to our head, right? So that's how I basically learn, right? So if I learn how to use masking today, I'm going to apply masking to probably 10 different designs, right? Till I get used to it. So that way, even if I leave Figma for a month, when I come back, I still know how to mask objects, right? So after learning, I repeat and repeat and repeat. Then the next thing you do after learning, well, when you start designing as a product designer, right, there are a lot of things you can do vertically. Vertically means you don't have to really leave the design space for you to expand your skill set, right? But the first thing you'd want to do would be to monetize the skill, right? That's like proof that whatever you've been learning has not been in vain. Right? When I got my first official job, they paid me 200K a month. I was so excited, right? Even my dad was very happy, right? Because they weren't very sure if I was going down the right path. I read special engineering. I interned with Chevron for 1 year, right? They retained me for an extra 5-6 months, right? I was very good at my workplace. Right? So I had a very high chance of actually working in Chevron. But imagine somebody that, that did internship with Chevron, made some connections there, right? I came back home and I told them that I no longer want to be a petroleum engineer. I want to focus on design, right? So they weren't very sure, but they're very supportive, right? But you still see them saying, one of my friends has this job for you. I'll tell them that I'm focusing on design, right? So getting that pay for your first job is proof that whatever you've been learning has not been in vain, right? Which is why you get frustrated when the money is not coming in. But the thing with design is, right, if you do better here, design is too short odds, right? If you keep going at it, you keep going at it, keep going at it, even if it doesn't take 1 year, 2 or 3 years, when the money starts coming in, you get tired of working, right? I'm speaking from experience, right? I'm speaking from experience because there was a time, I think around February last year, right? I did not have a single job, right? Right now, I have too many offers, right? When the money starts coming in, you will get tired of working, right? So the thing is just to keep going at it, right? The money may not come immediately, right? It's not Ponzi scheme that you should just start designing and the money starts coming in. When the money starts coming in, you get tired of working. I think I have 7 minutes more. Right. So how can I earn with my skills? Oh, there are so many ways for you to earn, right? You can either consult, you can work as a designer. But getting all these jobs can be very tricky, right? Especially when you're a newbie with no prior experience, right? So when I had no experience, what I did was I took on projects that required me finishing the design process end to end. I did research, I did the design itself, I prototyped and I tested the design. Right, so that when I go into interviews and they ask, do you have experience? Yeah, I say I've solved this problem, I've solved this problem, I've solved this problem. I usually tend to have 3 designs in my portfolio, 3 core case studies, right? So even if you don't have experience, if you can have 2 or 3 case studies that are actually solving a real life problem, right? The experience part should not matter much for a startup, right? But for enterprise, well, you must have the experience. Or another thing you can do is you can probably do unpaid internship, right? I don't believe in unpaid work, right? But that's another way for you to get experience, right? So, like I said, solve an actual problem, right? Probably three case studies should be good. 2 or 3 case studies should be good, right? Doesn't have to be more than. After I solve an actual problem, you're good. Then you can start applying for gigs. But if you are looking to get work very fast, right? So the way I do it is, if I want to work in the blockchain industry as a designer, right? All I want to be doing is blockchain-related design or fintech-related design or food-related design, right? That's the industry I want to work in. I probably want to work with Starbucks as a UX designer, right? My 3 case studies will be targeting problems the food industry is having, the fintech industry is having, or the blockchain industry is having, right? So probably I want to work for Paystart. I'll probably do 3 case studies centered around payment problem, right? So that way, when it's time for the interview and they see your case studies, they can easily relate to the problem you are solving, right? And it's easier for them to get you to the interview round and give you the job, right? So members to look up to in this space. Mentors. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of mentors, even if I tend to be a mentor, right? But there are people you can actually follow, right? I think Figmama, I don't know, she drops some design tips, right? I myself, I used to drop design tips when I'm not lazy, right? Then Imasuen, Mudia, they have been very helpful. Who again? I don't have a lot of them, right? I don't have a lot of them in my head, but you can just check whoever I'm following that's a product designer, then probably follow them, right? Most of them tend to drop gigs, drop design tips. And I think Mosky is another good person, right? He tends to drop design tips. Then, yeah, Mosky also teaches how to design if you want to become a product designer. Oh, personal story. Yes, personal story. Personal story. So, before I became a product designer, right, for the whole Chevron internship, right? Well, let me just give you guys a quick intro to how I started the whole techie thing, right? So, before the whole, I got into tech, I was actually working at a place called Mission Road in Benin, right? So Mission Road, what they basically do is, think of it as computer village. They just repair computers. I was working there. I was fixing hardwares, formatting laptop, just doing all those things that I need to do to leave the house. Right. Then a friend of mine came to the shop one day, his name is Chaffet, and he told me that there's a platform I can actually just post content and I'll get paid for it. Right. It felt like a joke to me. Right. So I had one friend, Nosa. Nosa did something and Nosa got about 160, 200K, right, from the platform. Another friend did a post on how to change a light bulb, right? At the time, changing a light bulb on the platform was an original content, and it got almost 160, 200K on the platform. I was like, people have to change the light bulb and you're getting paid so much money. All right. So I did what they called an introduce yourself post, right? And I got paid. Introduce yourself basically me just saying, my name is Wafi, this is my passion, this is what I do, and all those nonsense. And I got paid, I think around 20,000 naira, right? That was like the most money I have made by myself in my life, right? And the feeling felt very good, right? It felt very good making money for yourself. And it felt too easy, right? Because when I was growing up, making money was hard. You have to go to the office, you have to do hard work. I did another post on an original post now, right? I was taking my knowledge from Mission. I did a post on how to change your motherboard yourself, a do-it-yourself post. Right? I did the first time, it didn't work. I deleted the post. I didn't use the right tags. I did it again, and I got paid around that 180, 200. I say, it's money sweet too, right? I don't have to go to the office, right? I don't have to leave my house. I just have to sit in front of my computer and think of original content to post there, and I'll be making good money, right? So name of the platform was steamy.com, STEEMIT.com, right? It doesn't pay as much as it used to. I don't think it even pays again, right? So that feeling of, that was freedom for me. I didn't have to call my parents to buy a new laptop, right? I was actually, I think at the time, people still think I'm a Yahoo boy, right? Because at the time, I was spending money anyhow, right? Because all I have to do is just come on the platform, post original content, and that's it. I'm done. Right, that's all I was doing. That's all I was doing. Right, so it got to a point, right? We are making so much money and spending so much money, right? Then it got to 2018, still stop paying as much, right? And I've told myself I don't want to work in the office. So how do I make money to help me survive without me having to go to the office every day, right? Then that's when the idea of you have to add value, right, to make money. Right? So I started thinking of a skill to learn, picked up graphic design, just learning anything that caught my interest. And well, that's how I stumbled across product design, which is where I am today. So yeah, so I think that's my journey. Any questions?
Awesome. Thank you so much, even though we didn't get to see your face, but we'll take it.
Still working here.
Okay, no worries. I think we got a couple of questions here. Hello, sir. I'm basically at that point of learning how to use Figma. I downloaded the app, but I got stuck after signing in. I guess you could like kind of reach out personally if that's fine with you, Dred, to kind of help with Figma. But usually I know you could always like restart the app and stuff.
Yeah, probably doesn't have his internet on, right? You need internet to use Figma, right? If it's not turned on or you're not connected to a hotspot, well, it's not going to work.
Yeah, also Adiola said, I'm currently working and learning in between. It hasn't been easy, but no going back. Woo! I'm giving you strength and energy, proud of you. Please, what's the name of the platform? Okay, whatever platform this is, because I know you did mention a lot of platform, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
yeah, so like I said, we're going to be having, follow-ups with our speakers here from today to kind of make sure to collate one document to serve as a resource.
Yeah, I just shared one, right? I shared the Notion link, so you can check it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I think that's it. Thank you so much, Dres, for coming through for us. We really appreciate it. And congratulations once again. This is between me and you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So if you're just joining us, I did run a poll from the beginning, and let's see what the result is. So we have 54% of our audience participated, and the question was, do you have an idea what product design is? 41% of people, okay, we have more people responding. I love you guys for it, but thank you. 45% said yes, 21% said no, 6% said not sure, and 27% responded a little bit. So I guess this is amazing, and this has really inspired a lot of people. So thank you so much once again. We're going to be moving on to the next session. Niall, hi Niall has joined us. Thank you so much, Dre. It was nice having you with us.